It's always a fear to say those first words at a microphone to see if they work. Welcome to the 24-25 Beginner Band. This is all of the beginners at Glenview Middle School. It's the largest class we have ever had. And I want to thank you, the parents and the grandparents, yes, for encouraging and promoting. There's so many things you could be doing with your time, with your money, and with your disciplinary efforts with your students, I'm sure, or with your children, that you chose to encourage them to be in music, and that is a fantastic thing. I can tell you there are literally hundreds of studies going on at this point of how music impacts a person's life. One of the ones that comes to mind mostly out of Northwestern, they have a study that they have found that after 2 years of playing a musical instrument on a regular basis, that it reinforces and connects the right hemisphere of the brain to the left hemisphere of the brain in such a way that it helps students with their linguistic skills, their social skills, their reading skills. They say it's supposed to help with Alzheimer's, but I can't remember who said that. I'm too funny, they'll push me off the stage. No, it is supposed to help with Alzheimer's, so many benefits of being in band, and being in band for an extended amount of time. I highly encourage you to continue to fight the fight as parents and to encourage your students to be applying themselves on a regular basis. I'm Mr. Brown. I'm the band director, or one of the band directors here. We have a few. You're going to be meeting the others as the night goes on. And you are part of, actually this is the first time we've tried this, so hopefully this works. This is a 2-concert evening. Tonight you are going to hear the beginner band. And if you stay till 7:30, then you can hear the concert band, jazz band, and symphonic band. So if you're sad that you don't get to hear the jazz band, it's okay, stay. There'll be seats for you, I'm sure. As we go any farther, I also want to say a big thank you to UT. They have been very helpful. The UT students helped set all of this up and move all the gear in. Mr. Brzezinski, we'll probably have them meet you at some point here, is in the room somewhere here right now, helping he orchestrated the lights and the microphone and help take care of the kids here. So the music department doesn't start at Glenview and end at Glenview. It continues on through UT, and I hope you all get to experience that someday.
Thanks, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, there he is.
Hey!
I hear rumors that they're going on a long plane trip next year. Maybe they'll do it again in 4 years when you guys are there. Yes. The next thing I do need to talk about before we get started with the show is there are some things that will make this evening very enjoyable and memorable for all the students up here. It starts with this thing in our pocket. If you will please take out your phone and make sure it is on silent mode. I encourage you to take all the pictures, all the videos, share them on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is. Hashtag my beginner band is better than your beginner band. We'll live up to it, I'm confident. But please, we worked really hard on the music we're about to show you, and we don't want your phone to be part of our show tonight. The next thing you can do is we talk an awful lot about etiquette in the band room, and we have rehearsal etiquette, which is sitting there and listening, playing your instrument, being prepared, having your music, going to your seat, all of those things. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about performance etiquette. We're going to do our best, the 136-member band up here, to sit still, pay attention, and be quiet. We ask that you also will do us the honor of not talking while the bands are playing. If you have a phone call and you have to take it outside. I have sat in concerts and watched my children, who I have invested hundreds of hours and monies in, and the person next to me is having a full-thrown conversation about what they did last weekend, while I'm trying to watch my child, who has worked so hard, have a concert. And that's the rudest thing a person can do. So if it's an emergency, please take it out the back. And I understand, but please respect the kids and respect the performance hall. Once the band is playing, if you can refrain from getting out of your seat, that's greatly appreciated. In between songs is a great time to get up and walk out. It is appropriate to clap when the kids are done. Tell them, great job. If you feel like they did a really great job, Whitey's is right there. I get paid extra from Whitey's to say that. But you can, when they're done, make sure you tell them how great of a job they did and how proud you are of them. I can tell you this is a fantastic group, and you are going to be surprised at what these guys can learn in just 3 months. It's just been September, October, November, 4 months. Just 4 months. And we're going to highlight that for you today. So, last thing, and this is the hardest thing for me to say, because I love your kids, I love all the little ones. If you have a little one and they're just not going to dig this concert and they're not going to be able to sit here and be quiet, my heart goes out to you. But we've worked really hard, and if you would just stand out the door with them, I think you can hear okay. But if they can't sit in here and not be quiet, I'm sorry, but I have to ask for everyone here, if you could take them out, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, that's all the hard stuff. Are there any mics in the room? Mike? Mike, where?
Hey.
You all right? All right, that's our mic check for the evening. No hardy har on that one. Tonight we're going to take you on a journey. The journey that we've had since the beginning of the school year. All right, and within the first week of them having their instruments, they learned their first 3 notes. Sounded like this. Within the first 2 weeks, we learned our first 5 notes, and they learned how to read them on a staff. So at first, the music told them what note to play. It would say G, 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 A, B, and they would just do it. After 2 weeks, they didn't get that anymore. They had to know how to read a music staff, and it sounded like this. We will give them a minute here to get situated. So they've learned 5 notes, and we stick with those 5 notes for quite a while. After learning 5 notes, they can start playing music that you recognize. This next song, I'm not going to tell you the name. Let's see if they're good enough that you can tell what the song is. And tell your neighbor what the song is. It is Mary Had a Little Lamb. Very good. Every beginner band since the beginning of time has played the next 2 songs. And we're going to put them together for you because you should have to experience it just like I had to experience it and my parents had to experience it. This is Hot Cross Buns and Go Tell Aunt Rhody. As a side note, you should ask your student what it is that you have to go tell Aunt Rhody. This is Hot Cross Buns, Go Tell Aunt Rhody. there always comes a time when I start to remember these guys knew nothing in September. Nothing. And now we're all together playing music together on 8 different instruments. It really is amazing what your students have done in such a little bit of time. So that was Go Tell, Aunt Rhody, and Hot Cross Buns. After that, so far, the kids have been playing notes in order. They've been playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, and just back and forth, up and down. They haven't skipped any notes yet. They've learned half notes, they've learned quarter notes, they've learned rests. This next song asks them to jump and skip notes and go 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4, and have to jump around. And this was a real challenge for them. We're about a month to a month and a half into our learning at Glenview. This is called March Steps. They really are fantastic. I don't know how many beginner bands you've heard, but this is great. That was March Steps. Now I need to introduce you to our band. A band is made up of several different sections. There is the woodwind section. Woodwind, can you raise it up? Woodwind section consists of flutes, oboes, clarinets, and saxophones. And as you can see, we have a bunch of, clap them for them. Thank you, woodwinds. The next section is the brass section. The brass section includes the trumpet, the French horn, the trombone, euphonium, and tuba. And I won't tell you which section I'm in, but that's the best section. The last section we put way in the back because they're scary and they hit things. It's the percussion section. Percussion, let's make some noise. There you are. Now, moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles, it's your time to listen to the ensemble, and you have to decide which is the best section. So we're going to play a song called Listen to Our Sections, and afterwards I'm going to ask for your opinion of who did it best. This is Listen to Our Sections. All right, all who feel like the woodwinds did the best job, let's hear a clap. All who feel the percussion did a great job, let's hear a clap. All who know that it was the brass who did the right job, let's hear it. Band, who do you think did the best job? Band, who do you think did the best job? I think they were all fantastic, that's all right. All right, this next song puts it all together. Everything they've been working on, quarter notes, quarter rests, skipping notes, and they've been reading one line this whole time. All of a sudden, they have to read 2 lines. We're about to November now. By November, we've learned our sections, and now we're putting it all together. This song is entitled Lightly Row. There's no way that we can teach this many kids and have them learn to this degree without the support of the East Moline School District, without the support of Principal Holly and Dr. Humphreys at the administrative building, and really Glenview at East Moline School District all around has been very, very supportive of our program, including hiring Ms. Pearson, who is going to say goodbye to us. Everybody say goodbye, Ms. Pearson. And she's not the only one who teaches our kids. We also have the mariachi director and band director, Mrs. Monique Hill. Welcome, Mrs. Hill. Has anybody seen Mrs. Hill? Anybody seen her? Has anybody? Oh, she's behind me. Like I said before, we teach four classes, Mrs. Hill, or 5? 3, 8. I teach 3, you teach 1. We teach at least 4 classes of beginners every day, and they come in and learn. This is the first time they have all played together, which is pretty remarkable on their part. Very, very proud of them. This next song we're going to give to you was written by a child prodigy. By age 6, he was touring Europe and playing piano for kings and emperors and kingdoms. And I have a feeling you know him. Any Wolfgangs in the room? Is anybody named Wolfgang here? I know we got a mic. Any Wolfgangs? Band, can you say Wolfgang? Amadeus? Mozart. This next song is written by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I have a feeling you know it. That's a little Mozart for you. And the name of the song is? Nobody said the ABC song? No? A couple? All right, you're my favorite. Everyone else is. It's Twinkle Twinkle. It's the ABC song. You've heard a lot of it. So we're about end of November, and we're approaching the holiday season. So, of course, there needs to be some bells that jingle. And they learn this super fast. It was a really easy one to teach. This one's called Jingle Bells. One of the things you should have noticed there is they got a little bit louder in that song. We were teaching dynamics at this point, and they go from a medium loud to a loud. I don't know how to teach quiet. I'm still working on that one. We went from Jingle Bells, and then things happened really quick, and music got really complicated. And the band isn't talking right now because they have really good etiquette, and they wouldn't do that. And we went from Jingle Bells. So this next song that you'll hear the low brass play one line, you'll hear the percussion doing their own thing, and you have melody and counter melody in the band. Beginner bands don't do this, folks. This is fantastic what these guys have learned how to do. This one's entitled When the Saints Go Marching In. How about an extra hand for that crash cymbal player? Wasn't that impressive? Yeah. He's really loud, too. From When the Saints, we move over to, if Old MacDonald had a farm, then he must have had a band. And if he had a band, this is what it would sound like. They are really, really good. So you've heard Mozart, you've heard Old MacDonald, you've heard Jingle Bells. We now have to take for you Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. We're going to try that next. Because sure, we've only been playing for 3-4 months now. But yes, they can play Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, or at least a little bit of it. but it is a fantastic day. It isn't cheap, so do your fundraising or save your money. We also, at the end of the year, to celebrate a hardworking year, we take the entire band and we have rented out. This year we rented out Elevate, and just the Glenview band, or Glenview Music Department, goes and has fun together for a day. Our kids don't have fun together enough in a safe environment, and it's just the Glenview kids, and it's fantastic. And that's two things that your kids have opportunities to do next year, as well as playing concerts and go and participate in festivals and things like that. I had to give you a little pause. Mr. Wazinski!
Hey!
Yeah, he broke it on purpose just so you could
We didn't check the mic very well, did we?
Mike, you're fired. Where's Mike at? Just kidding. Sorry, Mike. It's much louder now, though. So, look forward to having your kids here next year. Being part of the band parent organization is very helpful. Lets us do things that have the kids have a great experience. The next song, we'll get back to the music, is nothing like this Ninth Symphony, but it's a whole lot of fun. It's called Hard Rock Blues. Good job, Anime. I'm sorry. I think Mr. Wazinski's up there. He'll start dialing me down here because I know me. I'm going to put that to my face again. Around the end of November, it was time for the kids to get their first real piece of music. What makes a piece of music real for a middle schooler is if it's not out of a book, but it's an actual piece of paper. And I think every beginner band I've ever taught has played this next song. The high schoolers in the room that came through Glenview played this next song. It's called Anasazi. I just keep thinking back to my first year in the Glenview band program, and there are now more clarinets up here than we had in our entire band. So we've come a really long way. Again, a huge thank you to Dr. Humphreys, to Principal Holly, to the support from the East Moline School District. Let's hear it for Miss Pearson. Miss Pearson, will you stick your head out? She's over there, I promise. And Mrs. Hill. And it is our pleasure to teach your children every single day and to share the gift of music with them. And thank you, parents, for continuing to encourage this. I have children. I know the struggle is real. We have one song left for you this evening. And I don't typically play this at this time of the year because the band is usually not ready for it. But this group of 136 little monsters, they are like, we can do this. So please enjoy our final piece of the evening, First Christmas, before they enjoy it. When they're done, they are going to go back to the band room and put their instrument away, and they will come out this hallway and meet you out in the foyer here. So if you're looking, you have to take the amount of kids you brought home with you. You have to. If you need to take extra, I'm okay with that as long as they're yours. But they're going to go back to the band room and get their stuff. It's too dangerous for us all to be up here, so please wait out there. It'd be great. But please, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart, of all of our hearts. This is First Christmas March. Give us a second. We talked about how to get out here, but not how to get back, so we don't want to run anyone over. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to stay for concert Symphonic Band, that'll be at 7:30. Being here tonight. You're in for quite an evening. Anyone in here for their second concert of the night? We got any? Ooh, we got some real. Thank you for enduring that with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first night we have tried this new idea of having 2 concerts instead of 1. So those that raised their hand have already heard the beginners. You all missed out. I'm sorry. Maybe next time you can hear the beginners do their concert. But tonight you're in for a real treat. We have the Glenview Concert Band, the Glenview Jazz Band, and the Glenview Symphonic Band. These are all second and third year players that have worked hard on their craft and have some great music ready. And it's my job to talk to you a little bit about, I got the short straw, a little bit about performance etiquette and concert etiquette. And our students know that in concert etiquette means they don't sit and talk to their neighbors while the director is talking on the microphone. And they pay attention to their music, they come prepared, they hopefully have a pencil. They watch, they listen, and they play all at once. What we're asking from you is a few things. First of all, if you have this handy little gadget, if you will get that out and make sure it is on silent. You're welcome to take all the pictures, make all the videos, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, hashtag Glenview's band is the best. We would love it. But please make sure that your phone is not part of our performance. These students have worked really hard at what they're doing, and we would like you to respect that. And the best way to respect it is to make sure that you're not part of their performance. Thank you for that. The next thing I'd like to ask is, as the performers are playing, if you can refrain from getting out of your seats, we greatly appreciate it. It's free to move between the songs as the applause is happening. That's a great time to get up. If you have to run to the restroom, that's a fantastic time to do that. But while they're performing, it is distracting if you get up and move around, either to the parents around you or to the performers themselves. And lastly, I have to talk about the performance I went to and to watch my son, who had been studying music for, well, I had him in piano at 6 years old. And he was in high school at the time, and his mom and I were sitting in the audience, excited to hear our son play, and the people in front of us were excited to talk about what was on Netflix that last weekend. Please refrain from talking while they're playing. Even if your kid is not up here, someone else's kid is, and it took everything I had not to share my mind with those lovely people in front of me that had a Netflix crush that they wanted to do. And I know in East Moline we're fantastic, and we don't do that here. So thank you in advance for that. And lastly, when they're done, if they did a fantastic job, Whitey's is right there, and they would love to see you and love to tell your student thank you in whatever way you do thank you. But really be encouraging. You could have invested the last year and a half or 2.5 years into many, many things. We're very thankful that you have invested it in music, and it's really great for them. I shared earlier with the other band that the scientific studies right now coming out, they have found that after 2 years of playing a musical instrument on a regular basis, the right hemisphere connects with the left hemisphere in a way that happens in no other way. It biologically rewires their brains to make them smarter, believe it or not. And so what you're doing is actually making your children smarter. It helps with their social skills, with their language skills, with their listening skills. They found that playing a musical instrument has helped with Alzheimer's, that people who play a musical instrument are less likely to succumb to Alzheimer's. So these are all the gifts that you're giving them, they don't even know. So next time you're giving presents, just put a bow on their instrument and say, you're welcome. You've taken care of that for them. But thank you very much for all the support. And without any further ado, I need to introduce the fantastic director of the concert band. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mrs. Monique Hill.
Woo!
students, and I have constantly been challenging them, getting them to do harder things, and they rose to those challenges. And something new that we did, in case I didn't tell you, is chair placements. So they challenged each other, so whoever plays the best gets to be first chair. And then we have challenges on Fridays, so they tell the person in front of them, hey, I want to sit in your chair, so we're going to play this part, and whoever plays it best gets to move there. So some of them totally rose to that challenge, like the trumpets. We're all about competing with each other, so that's great. Some other sections, they are just too nice to each other. They're just really good friends and like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, which is great, and that's all good too, but all right, so we also have solo and ensemble available to these students. It's not required for them to do it in concert band. I haven't even actually talked to them about it yet, but we will talk about it. So we will be starting groups next week before school. So like brass ensemble, woodwind ensemble, percussion ensemble will be Friday mornings before school, 7:20. And so they get to go and play for a judge. They get feedback that way. If they want to do a solo or a duet, that's an option too. So you will hear more about that. And this is our last song with a special guest that hopefully works.
Weren't they fantastic? Yeah. I have been impressed. I get to hear them almost every day, and they're really doing a great thing. We're going to do a slight transition here, and then you have the, we're going to bring the jazz band out. Before we do, I would like to introduce you to a very important part of your child's musical future, and that is the high school band director, Mr. Michael Warzinski. And I've asked him here to share with you a little bit about, to answer this question, why should your child be in the high school band? Because there are lots of fantastic reasons and fantastic opportunities come up, and he'll talk to you about it here.
Thank you very much. All right, sounds good. He's going to set the jazz band. Hi, I'm Mr. Wierzinski, Mike Wierzinski. It's a pleasure to meet you all if I'm meeting you for the first time. Awesome job, concert band. That was great, Mrs. Hill. Awesome job. For all of you that are 8th graders or 8th grade parents, your ear is probably most attuned to me, but 7th grade parents, or any 6th grade parents that might be here right now, man, oh man, it's going to happen in a blink of an eye. They're already here. They're already this old, and it happened how fast? So, please, when it comes to the decision to get into high school, take it from me. I was just telling some of the tuba players in Symphonic band this. I played football when I was in high school and middle school. I put shot in track and field, and I teach band for a living. I love sports. Sports is awesome. We do a great job with our football team, our basketball team, our swim team, all of the teams. There's an understanding that the best students at United Township High School are students that are involved. So some of the things that I just want you to think about with joining high school band. I was going to do it for 1 year just to get my art credit out of the way, and I got hooked. In high school band, you're going to have a leg up because you're going to have a family already here. All right, if you will already have 3 grade levels above you, incoming freshmen, that you'll have to latch onto. Someone that can give you a ride from A to B, someone that can help you find where the next room is, all of that stuff at band camp, all the way back in July. So that's something that we really push here. You'll be part of something bigger. You'll be part of a proud tradition. This next marching band will be Band 110. The band will be traveling with the Western Illinois Leathernecks to Hawaii this December. We'll be participating in the commemoration of the 80th closing of World War II and performing on an aircraft carrier, actually, of all things, and performing in a parade alongside a college marching band. So that's something that I think will be awesome. Our field show next year is called Queen Bee. We're going to be playing a lot of pop music. Sometimes we take this sort of choreographed, maybe artsy sort of show. This is a very entertaining, fan favorite show. We're going to be playing music from J-Lo, Lizzo, other lows. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see, what else we got? We got Beyonce, of course, and the show is called Queen Bee, so what marching band show is complete without Flight of the Bumblebee, too? So we're going to do a lot of awesome stuff for Band 110 coming up. Finally, as the jazz band's getting set up here, again, appreciate you listening to me here, we have flexible options here, as I was saying earlier. All of our coaches have an understanding with me, and I have an understanding of all of the coaches for working things out. That goes with classes as well. As Mr. Brown was articulating a few minutes ago, the left and the right brain, the spheres of the brain, are connected by a thing called the cerebellum. All of you are breathing right now, yes? Hopefully. Hopefully you're all blinking. Hopefully you're not just shut and listening to the high school band director yap at you. But these skills that these students are learning, my high school students who are doing the, can you give it up for the crew here as well? They've been working their butts off since 3 o'clock today. Thanks, stage crew, appreciate you. But anyway, as you sit here breathing, as you sit here blinking, as you walk out and into the doors, that's your cerebellum just doing all the things you naturally do. This is one of the few things in this building that develops both of those hemispheres at the same time. And I can't tell you how many scholarships my students get on the other end of things, not just pursuing music, but for any number of things. I believe we have the highest scholarship dollar per organization on campus. So just some things to keep in mind as you come over. You could reach me at utband@uths.net. Mr. Brown's got my number. He's got my email. I'm on the Facebook as well. Please reach out if you have any questions. I want to be a resource for you. I would love to continue your child's education here, and I'd be proud to be their band director, especially after what I've heard so far. So, with that being said, presto, there's a jazz band right in front of you. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Does this one work too?
It does. Do we have any mics out there?
I gotta tell you, Mr. W, that is not an easy thing to pull off while we're making all this noise down here. So that's very impressive of you.
Thank you. I had a little cell phone help.
Hey, did you hear about the new game they're playing?
No.
Yeah, it's called silent tennis.
Silent tennis. Okay.
Silent tennis, yeah. It's just like normal tennis, but without the racket.
Come on.
Give us about
There you go.
another 2 minutes and we'll be ready for you.
Awesome. Thank you, crew. Thank you, jazz band. T-minus 2 minutes. I'm Mr. Rosinski. Thank you very much for being here. I'll be recording everything as well, so I'll upload it to YouTube for you later on in the night. So, thanks, y'all. I will also turn these lights on for you.
Afraid it's going to get feedback. Thank you very much. I think we're ready. Give me a thumbs up, band. This is the first year in a bit that I've spoke tonight a lot about how the school district has been supportive of the Glenview Band and the Glenview Music Program. This is one of the things that they added this year, as with a focus on getting kids to love going to school. And I don't know about the rest of the kids, but I know that this class is almost here on a regular basis. It's the first year we've had jazz band in a bit. You're in for a treat. So without any further ado, I give to you the Glenview Jazz Band. This is about 4 classes. They're broken up through the day. We don't teach all of them at once. We teach them 4 separate times. And they came in the band room, and they had to know nothing to be in band. So we started from knowing nothing. And today we're going to take you on that journey. They learned how to read music, how to read treble clef, how to read bass clef, what a quarter note is, what a quarter rest is, half note, half rest, whole note, whole rest. They learned ledger lines. Then they had to pick out their instruments. They picked out their instruments. They learned how to assemble their instruments, what a ligature is, what a reed is. Some of you learned how much a reed costs, especially if you play oboe. And then on September 5th was the day that they got their instruments. And on September 5th, we showed them how to put them together. We opened our books to page 4. And I said, when I raise my hand, play the first note of page 4. And it sounded like this. And I said, that was amazing, do it again. Parents, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. When they came home that night and played their instrument for you, I bet it still sounded kind of like this. And I promise they're going to get better as the night goes on, because we don't want to sound like this. Forever. So without any further ado, we're going to take you through this stage all the way to our last song. But we're going to do that with our first conductor of the night. We have a very special, her first year at Glenview, and she gets to help with the beginner band. Can we welcome to the stage Miss Emerald Pearson. Woo! Performing together and like making music together, which is a real magical thing. Especially post-COVID, where we all made music with computers. It is really special to come together and play music with other people as opposed to next to other people. This is the Glenview Symphonic Band. We have a great show for you tonight, and I'm going to stop talking. We're just going to play. It's Parade of the Wooden Soldiers. thank you again for supporting music and supporting your kids in band. They are wonderful. They're wonderful to work with. This is our last song. So we are going to play it. When they're done, the students will go and put their instruments away, and they will meet you out there. Please allow it. It may take 4 or 5 minutes for them to get it situated, and I'm going to beg the tuba players to help me load all 11 tubas and 3 euphoniums and a piano into my truck. So if you have one of those folks, I'm going to hold them back just a little bit longer. But thank you again. Continue encouraging your student in music and the love and learning of music, and have a wonderful evening.